feller. My grandson, he got some of them raffle tickets and program booklets, and why, he even got invitations when him and his girl decided to get hitched. Now, Darren's using some of those newfangled computer systems. He can print just about anything. Yep, I've known these folks for years, and they never made me pay too much. So listen, folks, you remember that name now you hear. That's Darren Narosky at Slate Lick Printing. They took good care of me, and I guarantee they'll take good care of you, too. Bye for now.
WTYM 1380 AM Katanning.
Family Life TV, your local family station.
Welcome back to the Sports Zone here on AM 1380 WTYM and Family Life TV, brought to you in part by Walker Motor Company in downtown Katanning. GMC, we are professional grade. And as promised, in the studio, we have a member of the West Shamokin Golf Team, the proud West Shamokin Golf Team, Mr. Anthony Rocco. Anthony, how are we doing today? Let's just have you talking to the microphone there. Pull that closer to you. Hey, it's good, good. Let's just jump right into it. Just kind of want to talk about the state of the program. You talk like you had a little bit of a struggle so far. I believe 1-6 is the record right now.
Yeah, it's something like that. We're starting out pretty slow this year. I'm not really used to it, but things hopefully will turn around and just get a couple more wins and just get back on the winning side like we're used to with golf.
Now, as I said before, very proud program. What do you think has made West Shamokin so successful at golf? Every year you guys are competing for the section title, and I'm always hearing about how the West Shamokin golf team is prospering. What do you think is the difference between the program at your school as opposed to maybe a golf program at another school?
Well, our coaching staffs have always been real great. I never got to be coached by Dick Crawford, but he's a great golfer, and he's also a great coach. And Judd McCullough, he's a real great coach as well. And even Tom McLean just stepped in this year. He's a great golfer, and he knows how to teach the game. But I think it's just the expectations of, like, playing for West Shamokin because like the history is so well and just the tradition of winning, and everybody just expects it to happen, I guess.
I agree, and I think that the golf program at West Shamokin, more than most schools, actually draws seriously good athletes. And the guys that are the three-sport, yourself are a three-sport athlete, your fall sport being golf. I think that's one of the big draws at West Shamokin. May I ask you, what drew you to golf? What made you think that, you know what, I think I'm going to go off the golf team? Was it something that you did as a hobby and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to join the golf team? Or what was it that really made you decide on golf?
I mean, I did it at like a younger age, but just like on the weekend or something, just to mess around. But when I got hurt and coming into high school after my 7th grade football year, going into 8th grade, I got hurt. And I was told I wasn't going to be able to play any contact sports again. So just the summer I was allowed to being back into sports would have been 2 years. I just kind of picked it up and then just talked to a couple guys and got a little lesson and stuff like that. And it just excelled from there, I guess. So
as a result of it was a hip injury that you sustained. And just the result of that, you picked up a golf club, and here we are in a studio.
Yep.
Now, as opposed to other sports where you can do conditioning and you can be running and you're going to be doing drills like that, do you do any off-season preparation? Do you have any kind of thing where you're like, okay, golf season's coming up, I gotta hit the course a little bit, or is it just something when it comes up, it's like, okay, I'll grab the bag and go?
Well, just like soon as the weather breaks from winter, I just like to get out all summer long between baseball and basketball, summer leagues and stuff like that. But just like when it comes down to season, like just try to play every day. But in midsummer, just if I can get out once or twice a week, just play 18 holes, or just to go to the putting green, or just do some little things just to stay sharp whenever the season comes around. That just really helps.
Obviously, and golf is a game of repetition, and building that repetition myself, being an awful golfer because I'm much more brute strength than finesse, so I'm not exactly the prototypical golfer. But let's talk a little bit more about your game, because it's probably a lot more impressive. What is the best part of your game? Are you a short game guy? Are you a big driver, or do you just kind of think that you're all around?
I mean, I like to think that I'm pretty big off the tee, but not really my short game. That's where I'm pretty weak at. But when it's on, it's on, and when it's off, it's really off. But, I just like to think whenever I'm having a good day that any good shot I could hit is off the tee or in the fairway or putting or anything like that.
Now, compared to the other sports like basketball and baseball, you think there's a more mental toll taken in golf, where you have to overcome things mentally? And in basketball, sometimes you can just get a burst of adrenaline and you just take it to the hole and you go and score. Or baseball, you just get, or if you're pitching, you have that extra little thing, extra piece of energy inside of you. In golf, sometimes that extra burst of energy can mean a big slice or a big pull.
Yeah.
How much more of a mental test is it in golf compared to the other sports?
Definitely a test. It's like it's called a gentleman's game, and you got to really forget everything that happened unless you play a really great hole or something like that. Because when you get down on yourself, it can just turn bad. Because good scores can turn into bad scores instantly, and just can kill you real quick. Unlike any other sport like basketball or baseball.
Yeah, you can't just kind of will yourself through like you can in the other sports. You kind of have to collect your thoughts and say, all right, yeah, that was a terrible hole. Let's move on a little bit. Staying on with the comparisons, because you are, like I said, you are a three-sport athlete, and there's a lot of difference between each one. How do you mentally prepare yourself going into a golf match? Let's say you're going into sections, or you're going into a big playoff match, and you're trying to get yourself. I don't want to say you get yourself amped up, because that's not exactly what you want to do. And basketball and baseball, perhaps that's what you want to do. You want to keep that energy level high. What do you do in golf? Do you try to keep yourself mellow? Do you try to keep yourself calm? Or what goes through your mind whenever you're getting yourself ready for a big match?
I just kind of like to be off by myself and just thinking about like the exact course, because it's nothing like basketball, because everything, like all the basketball floors are the same, and all the baseball fields, there might be like a dirt infield, a grass infield, but every golf course is different. And I just like to get off to myself and just kind of mentally learn the golf course and what I want to do out there on that typical day. It depends like what course, because like say you play Katanning and the greens are like glass and they're real fast to putt on, or you play it like Deer Track and it's like putting on something totally different. But it's definitely mental, and I just like to get a feel for it while I'm there, and then by the time we tee off and we're ready to go, I just want to know what I want to do that day.
Now, you obviously know that you're just spouting off some things about the green, so obviously you know them. How much of being successful is knowing the course beforehand, and kind of like knowing already? Obviously knowing the course before you go in is going to be an advantage, but is it a very distinct advantage knowing how things run going into it, do you think?
Oh, definitely. We have one of the most unique courses as our home course, which would be Deer Track, and getting to play it every day, and they treat us great over there, letting us play just to walk all the time and keep up. But if you're not familiar with that type of course, and you're familiar with like every hole looking like almost identical, just like some of the rounding country clubs, but every hole's different and the layout's totally different, and it takes a toll whenever you don't know how to play a course, and it's just totally different than what you're used to.
It'll probably just beat you into the ground mentally too if you're seeing a hole for the first time. And yeah, I know there's a hole at Deer Track where there's like a shortcut you can go in between the tree to go up. I believe it's one of the back nine, or one of the longer ones, but you can go through a tree, kind of a shortcut. I've hit that tree about 1,000 times, so I don't really want to go into that. But let's talk about the new coach, Tom McLean. He's the athletic director at West Shamokin, taking over for Judd McCullough, who's going to be the girls' basketball coach now. Are there any differences in coaching style between Coach McLean and Coach McCullough? Is one kind of laissez-faire, kind of hands-off, and kind of let you do? Because I know I've been around Coach McCullough every once in a while. He's very, great coach, but sometimes he's good. It's good to be hard on you sometimes, and I know that's what he does. Is there a difference there in coaching styles a little bit?
There's definitely a difference, because like you said about McCullough, he's very hands-on about everything, and whenever you do something bad and he knows you can do better, he gets on you and he tells you that he knows you can do better and you need to expect better out of yourself. But McLean he's kind of different, like, because he's a school teacher as well, just as McCullough is, and you can tell in the classroom he's more like a mellow, laid back, like, you know what you can do, so you need to know that and be able to do it yourself, rather than like doing like drills upon drills upon drills, just trying to become sharp on the golf course. It's definitely a totally different ball game whenever we have him as a coach than McCullough.
Yeah, so obviously contrasting styles, and that's going to translate well for Coach McCullough in the basketball game, because that's the kind of attitude you have to have on there. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything here, but as far as you and you're the coaching style you like to be around, or the way that you like to train, are you more of a I'm going to do this until I get it right, repetition thing? Are you kind of, okay, I'm going to play this, I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to address what I did wrong later and think about that? Or are you very hard on yourself when it comes to that kind of stuff?
I definitely like to do the repetitions. If I do something wrong, I like to correct it. So that's pretty much what kind of was different about McLean than McCullough, because if I was if I was putting bad, then he would put me through drills where putting and it'd fix it, and that's what I'd like. And McLean's done that too, but it's like in the driving range and stuff like that. It's It's definitely a different game, though. But they both are great golfers themselves, and they can play the game well. And it's just teaching different ways. But it's really helped.
Oh, I can imagine, because you're kind of getting the polar opposite effect on each coaching style, but you were lucky to have them both, so you can kind of take the good from here, and kind of mold it into the all-around experience. What are some of your personal goals? And we're talking to West Shamokin Golf member Anthony Rocco here on AM 1380 WTYM and Family Life TV, the Sports Zone. Can you go through some of your personal goals and team goals? Now, I know you said the team kind of is sliding a little bit, but the season's obviously still young. Can you go over some of the goals for the team and what some of your personal goals are? Because golf is very much a personal sport. You can call it a team sport, and for a lot of reasons it is, but it's very much it's very much your own sport when you go into it. So what are some of your personal goals and team goals for that matter?
Well, our team goals are definitely trying to win section and go to playoffs every year, because that's just the tradition of West Shamokin Golf. And seeing we fell back a few matches here, it's definitely going to be a crawl back up to the top. But I think we have the guys that can do it, and I know that they can play great golf, and it just got to come out the next day after forgetting a bad round and just putting on a new face and just playing golf. But like personal, I don't really try to think of that until that comes around, because it's like almost mid-end of the season whenever individuals comes around. But I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself to try to make it, and I've made it the last year, and I'm going to push real hard to make it past the next round, which will be WPILs or whatever. But I definitely would like to push myself into making that. But just team playoffs and then a section title would just be great to put another banner up in the gym. But also making it past, after you go to team playoffs, then you have to qualify from there by being like the top 4 or 5 teams out of like 10. And West Shamokin actually has never been able to do that. They've come up short by 1 or 2 teams every year we've went, and this would be a great year, my senior year, just to go out and then do something the school hasn't done yet, and finally make it past the first round of playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, their banners are already hanging in the gym for golf, and it's one of the more decorated sports at the school. So you gotta try to keep that tradition going. I'll get you out of here on this. Kind of a fun question. If you had to pick one of your I'll give you a 2-part question. Right now, what is your favorite course that you've played on and you feel the most comfortable with, and you think that I can play my best golf at this course? And part 2, if you could play at any golf course, no fee, no membership required, I'm throwing everything out there. Augusta, Pebble Beach, you want to go to St. Andrews out across the pond there. Which one would you go to? So 2-part question there.
Well, I really like Deer Track. I've been playing it for like the last 3 years since we moved here from my freshman year, which we used to be at White Oak Golf Course. But Deer Track, I've just been so comfortable with it, playing it every day in the summer the last 3 years. And it's really, they treat us great out there. And it's a different course, and you really have to acquire the game and acquire the skills to play there. But it's definitely, I enjoy playing there a lot. And I've never really thought about going anywhere big, but maybe like Bethpage Black or something, maybe Oakmont, because I have a couple friends that can play at Oakmont and stuff like that. But like just something big, or St. Andrews would be unreal, actually.
Yeah, it'd be almost surreal thinking, wow, look where I'm at.
Yeah, because I look at it on TV and stuff, and it sort of reminds me of like the layout. Well, not really the layout of Deer Track, just like the kind of just a style of play there, and it just reminds me of like what we play back home, and it would just be unreal to be able to play on the courses that the tour does.
Oh yeah, very unique, and about 6 feet bunkers there too, which I could definitely find myself hanging out with there. Well, Anthony, thank you very much for being on the Sports Zone. I wish the team the best of luck. I wish you the best of luck, and most likely I'm going to have you back in here for basketball. So just stick around. Thank you very much for being on.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I got to take another break. When I come back, more guests, more West Shamokin and more Wolves. We're switching over to football. Running back Zach Horner is going to be right here in the studio to talk about the WTYM Game of the Week, West Shamokin and Springdale. That game is at Jackie Boyer Field at West Shamokin in Rural Valley, technically. So stick around. You're listening and watching the Sports Zone here on AM 1380 WTYM and Family Life TV, brought to you in part by Walker Motor Company in downtown Katanning. GMC, we are professional grade. We'll be right back after this.
The Katanning Paper, your source for local news, sports, and information in Armstrong County. Print weekdays and online always at www.katanningpaper.com. Available at McDonald's.
Reisman Body Shop in Spaces Corners is a family-owned and operated collision repair center. The Reisman family has been in business for 35 years and has a staff of 11 I-CAR and ASE certified technicians. Reisman Body Shop has earned the Good Housekeeping promise and is certified first. All work is done in a new VOC downdraft bake booth with computerized paint matching for a new factory finish. They also offer frame straightening. All work is guaranteed, free estimates, and all major credit cards are accepted at Reisman Auto Body Shop in Spaces Corners.
With a sense of pride in our community, we present the first ever WTYM Country Jam. Saturday, September 8th from noon to 7. The best in local bands and country entertainment, including Cherie White.
Every brick, every board, every cinnamon roll blown away.
And local sensation 12-year-old country boy Isaac Cole.
Faster than a teardrop, love can make the pain stop.
The 2010 male vocalist of the year, Tommy Brandt.
I had it my way. The Cowboys would play all year round. The high price of gas had come falling down. We could still see Elvis on the stage if I had it my way.
Fiddler Billy Rich. The WTYM Country Jam, Saturday, September 8th from 12 noon to 7 p.m. at the WTYM Tower in North Buffalo Township. In West Kittanning, take the Pony Farm Road and watch for signs. Avoid a $2 parking charge and take the shuttle from the Franklin Village Shopping Center that will run every half hour to the WTYM Country Jam, featuring special guest Joanne Cash, the sister of legendary Johnny Cash.
Let's hold on to a little bit of yesterday.
13 groups, 7 hours. Make plans to be there. The WTYM Country Jam, brought to you in part by White's Paving, Cherie White, Notary Public, and Ray Bucks LLC. Saturday, September the 8th, 12 noon to 7 p.m., no admission charge. Be there.
There's nothing better than a good old-fashioned barbecue, but having a menu that satisfies everyone isn't always easy. Foodland is the place to shop for all your picnic needs. They have a great selection of fresh steaks, hot dogs, chicken, and hamburgers. Stop by their deli for some great potato and pasta salad. The bakery has fresh baked buns and breads. If you want to make the family happy without wasting precious hours of your day at every store in town, visit Foodland at Hilltop Plaza. Foodland, with something to satisfy everyone, how can you go wrong?
Martini, please.
Allow me. Put it on my tab. I just made partner at the firm. I can afford it.
So what do you do?
I'm an inventor. What did you invent? This ought to be good. Well, I invented this. Just don't push that button. Let me show you some of my other cool inventions. Have a new idea or invention? Call 1-888-54-IDEAS for free information.
You bet your life I've seen a lot of printing places come and go in my time. But those Naroskis in Slate Lick, let's see, they came about 30 years ago, and they just keep right on a-going. Why, Darren's dad, he printed business cards and personal stationery for me a few years back, and he made me look like some big city feller. My grandson, he got some of them raffle tickets and program booklets, and why, he even got invitations when him and his girl decided to get hitched. Now, Darren's using some of those newfangled computer systems. He can print just about anything. Yep, I've known these folks for years, and they never made me pay too much. So listen, folks, you remember that name now you hear. That's Darren Naroski at Slate Lick Printing. They took good care of me, and I guarantee they'll take good care of you, too. Bye for now.
WTYM 1380 AM Kittanning.
Family Life TV, your local family station.
Welcome back to the Sports Zone here on AM 1380 WTYM and Family Life TV, brought to you in part by Walker Motor Company in downtown Kittanning, GMC. We are professional grade. We got another guest in the studio. He's also from West Shamokin. He's on the football team. He is a running back for the Wolves, and he's going to clash heads against the Springdale Dynamo for the WTYM Game of the Week this Friday. Mr. Zach Horner. Zach, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. You know, I just want to jump into this because I talked a little bit about this in the first segment before you guys got here. What was your initial reaction? The Wolves are down in Single A this year, new conference, new team, new attitude, if you will. But what was your first reaction when it was announced that the team would go down to Single A?
It was good, I guess, because we got to play against teams that were down to our level. But to me, honestly, it really didn't make that big of a difference because Single A or Double A, I was playing football.
Okay. Let me move on here. What was the difference between this off season and previous off seasons? Was there a big difference in attitude or participation or practices? What was the main difference? In the
participation was definitely the biggest difference. We usually, in the years past, would have a tough time getting a lot of kids out. It would usually just be the usuals, but this year we did well and had usually 20 kids to a workout session.
Okay, well, obviously the more participation, the better the team is going to be. And there was a jump in participation, you have to think, than last year, because maybe due in part because moving down to Single A. After the 2 days and the scrimmages and all the the blood and guts kind of thing, what's your assessment of this team? How much better is this team than the team last year? If you kind of had to just gauge it, how much do you think this team is far better than last year?
It's tough because that's a tough question because last year we were a good team, but we were playing Double A teams. But as far as some of the things going, like our pass blocking, that's improved much better due to the passing scrimmages we've gone to. Our route running and just being able to pass the ball overall has improved. But I mean, we're not much better than last year's team, but we have improved in some areas that we struggled with last year.
Now, you alluded to the passing game a little bit. Is it going to be a more balanced attack this year? Because I believe they only threw the ball 26 times last year.
We
and
had
only
10 yards passing last year.
Only about 4 completions. So is it going to be a more balanced attack this year? Can we expect to see a couple of throws, not necessarily downfield, but maybe some swing passes and things like that?
Yeah, we'll definitely be passing the ball a lot more due to the fact that we have the blocking up front to be able to have the time for our quarterback to throw the ball. And with the passing scrimmages that we went to this year that we didn't get to go to last year, our routes are better. We can pass the ball, so it would definitely be more balanced attack.
Now, how's the wing T going this year? That's kind of a new thing that's going on, the new offensive scheme. How are you adjusting to it, and how's the team adjusting to it?
I love the wing T. I think
as a running back, I believe you. I believe that.
I mean, yeah, it's a running offense.